I accidentally connected to my wife's Bluetooth and heard her bragging about hiding the fact that our son isn't mine, saying, a DNA test would destroy him. So, I gathered proof and exposed her at our anniversary dinner. I, 34M, have been with my wife Maria, 32F, for almost 10 years, married for 8. We have a 6-year-old son, Grayson, who I thought was my entire world. Until last week when I found out he isn't biologically mine. I'm still processing everything, so sorry if this comes out jumbled. My brain is just complete mush right now. It all started on what should have been a completely ordinary Tuesday. Nothing special about it at all. I was on my lunch break scrolling through Reddit, ironic, I know, at this little deli near my office where I always get the same turkey club with extra bacon. The owner knows my order by heart now, he's this older Italian guy who calls me Sandwich Man every time I walk in. Anyway, I wanted to call Maria to ask if she could pick up some stuff for dinner since I was planning to make my grandma's lasagna recipe, the one thing I can actually cook well. Maria was supposed to be having lunch with her friend, Vivian. They do this weekly thing at this overpriced sandwich place downtown that Maria absolutely loves. It's one of those hipster joints where they charge you $18 for avocado toast and everyone's taking Instagram pictures of their food. Maria and Vivian have been friends since college, they were roommates sophomore year and have been practically inseparable ever since. Vivian was even Maria's maid of honor at our wedding and is Grayson's godmother. She's always at our house, always involved in our lives. I never minded it much, she's fun and makes Maria happy, even if she can be a bit much sometimes with her constant drama and gossip. So I hit Maria's contact on my phone, and it starts connecting. But instead of ringing, I'm suddenly hearing voices. Took me a second, but I realized my phone had connected to her car's Bluetooth. This happens sometimes when she's in range and the call automatically routes there. She must have been sitting in the parking lot or something. And then I heard it. Vivian's voice, clear as day, LOL, his kid isn't even his. The DNA test would destroy him. I literally froze. Like, sandwich halfway to my mouth, not breathing, the whole 9 yards. At first, I thought maybe they were talking about someone else. Had to be talking about someone else, right? Then Maria laughed. That specific laugh she does when something is both funny and scandalous to her, this high-pitched giggle that always reminded me of wind chimes. And she goes, I know, right? Sometimes when Thomas is playing with Grayson or helping him with homework, I just have to leave the room. It's too much. My bloody heart stopped. The sandwich fell from my hand onto my lap, mustard smearing all over my khakis. I didn't even care. The deli owner looked over at me concerned, but I couldn't even acknowledge him. Vivian asked how she's kept it secret for so long. And Maria she just started bragging about it. How Damien, her boss, BTW, and her had this intense connection 6.5 years ago during a work conference in Chicago. How she was gonna leave me for him, but then found out she was pregnant. How Damien wasn't ready to step up, so she just let me believe Grayson was mine. The whole time I'm hearing this, my hands are shaking so bad I dropped my phone. Didn't even notice the screen crack. Like, who even cares about a cracked screen when your entire life is shattered? We're talking about the phone I just spent $1,200 on 3 months ago that I was so careful with I even got the special case with extra corner protection. But in that moment? Couldn't have cared less. And then, Maria says, Thomas would never question. He's so clueless. Plus, he's obsessed with Grayson and thinks he looks just like his dad. More laughter. I hung up. Couldn't listen anymore. At that moment, I swear I almost drove straight to that sandwich place to confront her. Was legit sitting in my car, hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles were white. I've never been so angry in my life, but something stopped me. Call it self-preservation or whatever. I've always been the level-headed one in our relationship. The planner. The one who thinks things through. Maria's the spontaneous one, the one who books surprise weekend getaways or brings home a puppy without discussing it first, R.I.P. Baxter, who we had to rehome because of Maria's sudden allergies that mysteriously appeared once she realized how much work puppies actually are. So I took 3 deep breaths. Thanks, crappy workplace stress management seminar that I thought was a complete waste of time. Turns out those breathing exercises actually work when your world is imploding. And decided I'm not gonna lose my head. Not yet. This needs to be calculated. I called in sick for the rest of the day, told my supervisor I had food poisoning or something. Mike's a cool guy, we play in the same fantasy football league and he didn't ask questions. Just told me to feel better. I drove around for, 2 hours just thinking. Down back roads I'd never been on before, past neighborhoods I didn't recognize, just driving and thinking and occasionally pulling over when the tears got too bad to see through. The whole time, my phone was blowing up with notifications, group chats, emails, whatever, but I couldn't focus on any of that crap. My mom kept texting about Grayson's upcoming birthday party. The HOA sent their weekly passive-aggressive email about someone's trash cans being left out too long, probably ours. Maria always forgets. My fantasy football group was debating trade options. All this normal life stuff continuing while my world had just stopped spinning. When I finally got my head somewhat straight, I called an old buddy from high school, Jackson, who's now a lawyer. We used to be tight back in the day, captain of the debate team, total brainiac who everyone knew would be successful. We lost touch a bit after college but reconnected at our 10-year reunion. He's one of those guys you can not talk to for years but pick right back up where you left off. Didn't give details, just asked for a recommendation for someone who handles family issues. He must have heard something in my voice because he squeezed me in that same afternoon. Left his office in the middle of the day to meet me at this tiny coffee shop where no one would recognize either of us. The lawyer laid out my options. Divorce in our state is no fault, but infidelity can impact asset division sometimes. He told me to start gathering evidence, securing finances, all that practical stuff that seems so freaking impossible when your brain is on fire, but that's exactly what I did. I went home that night and somehow, acted normal. Made dinner with Maria, chicken stir-fry, her favorite, and I didn't even accidentally dump too much hot sauce in it. Helped Grayson with his spelling homework, kid struggles with double consonants, kept writing little instead of little. Watched some stupid reality show on Netflix with her curled up next to me on the couch, her head on my shoulder, all while feeling like I was gonna puke or scream or both. Our house always felt like home before. We bought it 3 years ago, a 1960s ranch style that needed work but had good bones according to the realtor. We spent that first summer painting every room together. Maria wanted this bright teal for the kitchen that I thought was ridiculous, but now it's my favorite room in the house. There are still paint splatters on the concrete in the garage from where we got into a paint fight while doing the living room. The backyard has the swing set I built for Grayson's 4th birthday, took me 3 weekends and multiple YouTube tutorials, but his face when he saw it was worth every smashed thumb and frustrated curse word. Now all those memories felt tainted. Was she texting Damien while we picked out paint colors? Was she comparing my DIY skills to his while I struggled with the swing set instructions? The next few days were the same. Wake up, make breakfast, pancakes shaped like dinosaurs for Grayson, just the way he likes them, kiss Maria goodbye like nothing was wrong, drive Grayson to school. Those drives killed me, looking at him in the rearview mirror, wondering how I never noticed he doesn't have my eyes or my chin or anything of mine. He has Maria's nose, definitely, but now I was searching his face for traces of Damien. I'd only met the guy a handful of times at company events, tall guy, athletic build, the kind of dude who played lacrosse in college and never shuts up about it. Does Grayson have his smile? His ears? I couldn't stop looking for similarities. Meanwhile, I was making moves. Opened a separate bank account at a different bank, not the one where Maria and I have been customers for years, where the tellers know us by name and always ask about Grayson. Downloaded and secured all our financial records. Started transferring small amounts to the new account, nothing that would raise red flags, just enough to build a cushion. Made copies of important documents. Took pics of family heirlooms and stuff that was definitely mine before marriage, my grandfather's watch, the signed baseball my dad gave me, the first edition books I've been collecting since college. Documented everything in a password-protected Google Doc. Maria didn't suspect a thing. Why would she? According to her, I'm clueless. Right? I even managed to swipe Grayson's toothbrush for a DNA test. Ordered one of those kits online with expedited shipping. The wait is killing me, but I need to know for sure, even though I already know. Does that make sense? Probably not. The hardest part? Still being a dad to Grayson. None of this is his fault. Every night when I tuck him in, he wants me to do our special handshake. It's got like 10 steps and ends with us both making explosion sounds, and tell him that no monsters can get past Dad. I've been the only father he's ever known. When he asks me to read him a story at night or wants to show me his new Minecraft build, I still do it, still love him. That part hasn't changed, which makes everything else so much more complicated. 5 days in now, still haven't confronted Maria, still driving Grayson to school, still kissing my wife goodbye in the mornings like everything is fine, but it's not fine. And soon, she's going to realize just how not fine things are. I've got our anniversary dinner planned for this Saturday. Reservations at this fancy place downtown she's always wanted to try, one of those restaurants where they have, like, 3 forks and the menu doesn't list prices. She thinks I'm being romantic. Little does she know I've got a special gift planned. The DNA results should be here by then. I'm not usually the type for revenge. Always thought I was better than that. But hearing her laugh about how she's been lying to me for 6 years about something this huge? Yeah, this isn't over, not by a long shot. We'll update after Saturday. Wish me luck, Reddit. Update. First of all, thank you all for the support on my last post. Never expected thousands of people to care about my train wreck of a life, but here we are. Sorry it took me a few days to update. Been kinda busy burning my life to the ground in the best possible way. So where was I? Right. The anniversary dinner. But let me back up a bit. Those 3 days between my last post and Saturday were the longest of my freaking life. I woke up next to Maria every morning feeling like I was suffocating, watching her get ready for work, all smiles and kisses, while I knew she was gonna spend the day with the dude who actually fathered my son. Pure torture. We've been sleeping in the same bed for 9 years. I know all her little habits, how she always hits snooze exactly twice, how she hums in the shower, always 90s pop songs, how she tries on at least 3 outfits before deciding on one. Thursday morning she asked if her blue dress looked better than the black one for a client meeting. I said blue because I honestly didn't care anymore. She smiled and kissed me, left a little lipstick mark on my cheek that she wiped off with her thumb like she always does. Such a normal moment that felt so surreal. The DNA test arrived Wednesday afternoon. I was WFH that day and practically tackled the delivery guy. Poor dude probably thought I was crazy, standing by the window watching for him like some kind of stalker. Maria was at work, so I had privacy to open it. Took me, 20 minutes to actually break the seal though. Kept pacing around our kitchen, staring at the envelope like it was gonna bite me. Our kitchen has always been my favorite room. It's where we make Sunday breakfast together, where Grayson stands on a stool to help me mix pancake batter, where Maria and I have had some of our best late-night conversations over glasses of wine. Now I was standing there about to blow up our entire life. Results were exactly what I expected. 0% chance I was Grayson's biological father. Still felt like getting hit by a truck though, you know? I knew, but now I knew. Spent an hour sitting on the bathroom floor just breathing. Then I got myself together and finalized the plan. Thursday morning, I met with Jackson, lawyer buddy, again. Showed him the results, and he helped me get all my ducks in a row. Legal stuff is boring, but basically, I'd already moved about 60% of our savings to my new account, had copies of everything we own together, changed passwords on all my personal accounts, had paperwork ready for filing first thing Monday morning. Friday, I contacted Damien's wife, Malia, through Facebook. Never met her before, but her profile was public, and I figured she deserved to know too. She seemed nice from her profile, lots of family photos, posts about charity runs she'd done, pictures of her 2 kids who looked around Grayson's age. I felt awful being the one to blow up her world, but better to know than live in ignorance, right? That's what I kept telling myself anyway. Sent her a message saying I had important information about her husband and my wife. She read it right away, but didn't respond. Whatever. Ball in her court. Saturday morning, anniversary. Maria was all giggly and crap, thinking I was being Mr. Romance. We'd been married 8 years, the traditional gift is bronze or pottery, but she joked she'd prefer diamonds. She went for a mani-pedi, charged to our credit card naturally, while I finished preparations. Put the DNA results in an anniversary card along with screenshots of text messages between her and Damien I'd found on our shared iPad. Pro tip, when you're cheating, maybe don't use the family iPad that syncs messages. SMH. Dinner was at 7 at this fancy Italian place downtown. Reservations made weeks ago, before I knew my life was a lie. The irony. I got there 15 minutes early, nervous AF, kept checking my phone every 30 seconds. The waitress probably thought I was being stood up or something. Kept asking if I wanted to order a drink while I waited. I stuck with water. Needed a clear head for what was about to go down. Then Maria walked in. Not gonna lie, she looked amazing. Red dress, hair done, the works. For a split second, just a split second, I almost felt bad about what was about to happen. Almost. We've had good times together, that's the thing that makes this so hard. Our honeymoon in Costa Rica where we went ziplining even though she's terrified of heights. The road trip to see my brother in Colorado where we got caught in that freak snowstorm and had to spend the night in a motel that definitely had bedbugs. The night Grayson was born, I cried when they put him in my arms for the first time. All these memories, and now they're tainted. She sat down all excited, talking about how she couldn't believe I remembered this was the restaurant she'd been wanting to try, ordered some fancy wine I can't pronounce, was being extra touchy, hand on my arm, playing footsie under the table. The whole time I'm just nodding, smiling, dying inside. So we order our food. Appetizers come. She's taking pics for her Instagram. Gotta keep up appearances, right? Then she asked if I got her anything, says it with this little pout that used to be cute, but now made me want to flip the table. That's when I pulled out the envelope. Nice blue one with happy anniversary in silver letters. Real classy. Maria's face lit up. She was expecting jewelry or something. Opens it, pulls out the card, and a bunch of papers fall out. She looks confused for a second, then starts reading. I wish I had a camera for what happened next. Her face literally went through the 5 stages of grief in about 10 seconds. Confusion, shock, denial, anger, then this weird blank look. She whispered that she could explain, that it wasn't what it looked like, that she'd made a mistake, but it was just once a long time ago. I just sat there, didn't say a word, let her dig the hole deeper. Then she got loud, started saying I violated her privacy, that I had no right to snoop through her things or get a DNA test without permission, that I was trying to humiliate her. That's when I finally spoke up, told her I didn't snoop. She and Vivian broadcasted it over Bluetooth. Her face went white. Told her I'd already spoken to Jackson, that I'd moved most of our money, that divorce papers were ready to file Monday morning, that Malia knew everything. The restaurant was packed, people were staring, the waiter was hovering awkwardly nearby, clearly not wanting to approach our table. This poor kid couldn't have been more than 25, probably working his way through college, and now he's stuck in the middle of our marital meltdown. He kept making eye contact with the hostess who was frantically shaking her head like don't go over there. Maria started crying. Not cute movie tears, ugly, mascara running, nose dripping crying, begging me not to do this, saying she loved me, that Grayson needed his father, that we could work it out. I just asked her one question, why? Her answer was so pathetic it's almost funny. Said she and Damien had this connection, but he wasn't reliable. That she knew I'd be a good father. That she convinced herself it was better for everyone this way. Better for everyone except me. Anyway, I paid for my half of the bill, left her to cover her half, petty, I know, but satisfying, and walked out. She followed me to the parking lot, still crying and making a scene. People were recording on their phones, which just made her more hysterical. I got in my car, rolled down the window, and told her I'd be back tomorrow to get my stuff. That she should tell Grayson I had to go away for work for a few days until I figured out how to explain things. The rest of the night is kind of a blur. I checked into a hotel downtown. One of those extended stay places with a kitchenette and free breakfast. The woman at the front desk took one look at me and gave me a room far from the elevator so you can get some peace and quiet, honey. Maria called me 57 times. 57. Left 29 voicemails, each more desperate than the last. Sent over 100 texts ranging from begging to threatening to more begging. I didn't read most of them, just scrolled through the previews. Some highlights: please come home, we can fix this, I'll do anything, please answer your phone, you can't just walk out on your family, what about Grayson, you're no better than I am, running away like this, I'll make sure everyone knows what you did. Sunday morning, she was still at it. Now saying she'd take Grayson away if I didn't come home, that I was abandoning my family, that she'd make sure everyone knew what an asshole I was. I finally texted back, check your email. I'd sent her screenshots of her conversation with Vivian, plus the DNA results, plus pictures of her and Damien from a work event looking very cozy. Told her if she wanted to play dirty, I had more ammunition than she could imagine. Radio silence after that. Around noon, my mom called. Maria had called her crying, saying we'd had a fight and I'd walked out. My mom knew something was up because I never walk out during arguments. I'm more of a let's talk this out guy. Maria's the one who slams doors and gives the silent treatment. Told my mom the basics. She went from shocked to furious in about 3 seconds, said she was coming over to help me get my stuff. Had to talk her out of showing up at our house with a baseball bat. My mom's always been protective, single mother who raised 2 boys on her own after my dad walked out when I was 4. She's never been a fan of Maria, always said she was too selfish. Guess mom's intuition was right on that one. My buddy Derek let me crash at his place for a few days while I looked for an apartment. We've been friends since college, he was my roommate junior and senior year. The kind of friend who helps you move without complaining and knows exactly when to hand you a beer and when to leave you alone. He's divorced too, his ex cheated with their marriage counselor of all people. Talk about irony. His place is a typical bachelor pad, mismatched furniture, Xbox controllers everywhere, fridge full of beer and condiments but not much actual food. But it felt safe, somewhere I could fall apart without judgment. Got an apartment lined up starting next week. Nothing fancy, but it takes pets. Always wanted a dog. Maria was allergic. Though now I'm wondering if that was just another lie. Monday morning, Jackson filed the papers. Maria was served at work. According to mutual friends, she had a complete meltdown. Got sent home early. Part of me felt bad about her being served at work. She'd been going to that office for years, spending all day with the man she cheated with, lying to my face every day. Tuesday, I finally saw Grayson. Hardest conversation of my life, trying to explain to a 6-year-old why daddy wasn't living at home anymore without telling him the real reason. He cried. I cried, in private. Promised him nothing would change between us. That I'd still take him to soccer and help with homework and all that dad stuff. We were sitting on the swings in the backyard, the ones I installed. He was wearing his favorite Spider-Man t-shirt, the one that's too small now but he refuses to give up. Has a chocolate milk mustache because Maria never remembers to wipe his face after snacks. Looking at him, I couldn't see anything but my son. DNA test be damned. Wednesday, got a text from Aaliyah. She and Damien were taking a break while they figured things out. She asked to meet for coffee sometime, said she had questions. Haven't responded yet. Too much on my plate. Today, Maria's mom called me. Sweet lady who never liked how Maria treated me. Said she was disappointed but not surprised. Said Maria had always been selfish, even as a kid. Asked if she could still see Grayson sometimes. Told her of course, none of this family drama is his fault. So that's where things stand. Maria's reputation is in shambles. Her work situation is awkward AF. I'm staying with Derek until my apartment is ready, trying to maintain normalcy for Grayson. Oh, and Vivian? Apparently, she's been radio silent. Deleted her Instagram and everything. Guess having your bestie's life implode because of your big mouth is kinda awkward. Don't really know what else to say. Still processing everything. Some moments I feel weirdly free. Others I'm just sad for what could have been. I'll update again when there's more to tell. Thanks again for all the support. Internet strangers can be pretty cool sometimes. Edit, holy crap. This blew up again. No, I don't have screenshots to share. That would be messed up. Yes, I'm still seeing Grayson regularly. No, I don't hate him. He's innocent in all this. Yes, I got tested for STDs. All clear. Stop asking about Malia. Nothing happening there. TLDR, confronted cheating wife with DNA results at our anniversary dinner. Public meltdown ensued. Divorce in progress, trying to stay a good dad to Grayson despite everything. Final update, 5 months later. Hey, Reddit. Been a minute since my last update. Not gonna lie, part of me wanted to just disappear and never think about this crap again. But I promised an update, so here it is. 5 months since D-Day, that's what I call the anniversary dinner from hell now, and my life is different. Not perfect, not even great some days, but different in ways I needed. So I was unpacking some boxes in my new place last weekend, yeah, still unpacking after 3 months here, don't judge, and found this old photo album from when Grayson was a baby. Sat on the floor for, 2 hours just flipping through it. Weird feeling, looking at pics of me holding him in the hospital, all proud and crap, knowing what I know now. But you know what was even weirder? I still felt like his dad. DNA test be damned. That's my kid. Anyway, a lot has happened since my last post, so let me try to get it all down. First, the divorce. Finalized last month, which is apparently super fast for our state. Judge took one look at the evidence and basically told Maria she could accept the terms or make things difficult and probably get less. She took the deal. I got primary custody of Grayson, huge win, kept my car and retirement accounts, and only had to give her 30% of our savings instead of 50%. The house is being sold, closing next week actually, and we split that money. My lawyer, Jackson, says I got lucky with the judge, who apparently had zero tolerance for cheaters. The custody thing was the biggest surprise. Maria didn't even fight that hard for it. My mom thinks it's because Maria knows she can't handle Grayson full-time with her life falling apart, but still, kinda hurts to know she'd give up that easily. I hired a realtor I went to high school with to sell the house. She staged it beautifully, but it was weird seeing our home of 3 years with generic decor and all our personal touches gone. The family photos came down, the teal kitchen walls got painted a neutral grayish, whatever that means, all evidence of our life there erased. It sold in 6 days for above asking. The new owners are a young couple with a baby on the way. I hope they make better memories there than we did. Speaking of Maria's life falling apart, yeah, it's not pretty. After her public meltdown at the restaurant, which BTW ended up on TikTok because of course some teenager filmed it, things went downhill fast. Damien fired her to save his own marriage, so she lost her job. Most of our mutual friends chose sides, and not many chose hers. She's living in some crappy one-bedroom apartment now working at Target. I know this because Grayson tells me, not because I'm keeping tabs or anything. Oh, and Damien? That whole situation imploded in spectacular fashion. Malia and I did end up getting coffee back in month 2. Super awkward at first, what do you even say to the wife of the guy who knocked up your wife? But she's actually cool. Very different from Maria. Quieter, more thoughtful. We met at this little cafe halfway between our houses. She brought photos of her kids, a boy and a girl, both around Grayson's age. Said she thought I might want to see what Grayson's half-siblings look like. It was a weirdly thoughtful gesture. They have the same eyes as him, that's for sure. She told me Damien tried to deny everything at first, then blamed Maria for seducing him, then finally admitted to the whole thing. They're in counseling now trying to work it out for their kids. Not my circus, not my monkeys. The hardest part of all this has been Grayson. Had to tell him some version of the truth eventually, that I'm not his biological father, but I'm still his dad in all the ways that count. He's only 6, so the concept is confusing. But kids are adaptable, man. He had a rough few weeks, acting out at school, wetting the bed again even though he's been potty trained for years. But we got him a therapist who specializes in kids from complex family situations, fancy way of saying your family's a hot mess. There was this one night about 2 months in when he crawled into my bed at 3 a.m. sobbing, asking if I was going to give him back like we did with the puppy we couldn't keep. Broke my heart into a million pieces. Spent an hour just holding him, promising I'd always be his dad no matter what. Those are the moments when the full weight of what Maria did really hits me, not just what she did to me, but to an innocent kid. Last month, Damien asked to meet Grayson. That was a whole thing. My immediate reaction was hell no, but the therapist said it might actually help Grayson long term to know who his biological father is. We did a supervised meeting at a park. Damien was awkward AF, brought way too many presents, clearly had no idea how to talk to a kid. Grayson was shy at first, then just treated him like any random adult, showed him his Pokemon cards, talked his ear off about Minecraft. After an hour, Grayson asked if we could go get ice cream, barely said goodbye to Damien. In the car, he just said, "He's not as fun as you, Dad." NGL, I teared up a bit. Damien signed away his parental rights but agreed to pay child support. Maria threw a fit about that, thought she'd be getting the payments. Nope. That money's going straight into Grayson's college fund. My new place is nothing special. 2-bedroom apartment in a decent area, close enough to Grayson's school that I can still do drop-offs most days. Got him a bunk bed for his room even though he doesn't need the top bunk. He thinks it's the coolest thing ever. My mom comes over a lot, helps with Grayson when I need it. She's been my rock through all this. The apartment has issues, dishwasher that sounds like it's possessed, weird smell in the hallway that nobody can identify, upstairs neighbor who apparently practices river dancing at 2 a.m. But it's mine. No memories of Maria here. No lies. Just me and Grayson making new memories. Got a dog too, finally. Shelter mutt named Rex who follows Grayson around like he's the second coming of Christ. Big brown eyes, floppy ears, some kind of lab/pit mix. No idea what his actual breed is, but he's gentle with Grayson and only chewed up 1 pair of my shoes, so I count that as a win. Work has been a good distraction. Got a small promotion last month. Nothing fancy, just a little more responsibility and a bit more money. Enough that I could buy Grayson a Switch for his birthday without sweating the cost. Been putting in extra hours, partly for the money, partly to keep my mind busy. My boss has been surprisingly understanding about everything. Let me adjust my schedule for custody swaps and therapy appointments without complaint. My social life is, well, it exists now, which is something. Joined a group for single dads on Meetup. Sounds lame, but it's actually been cool to hang with guys who get it. We do stuff with the kids sometimes, grab beers without them other times. Talking to other dudes who've been through similar crap helps more than I expected. Started dating again last month. Nothing serious, just coffee and dinner dates here and there. Met a woman named Ellie on Hinge who's pretty cool. She's got a kid too, so she understands the whole my kid comes first thing. Taking it super slow. Still get random anxiety that she's hiding something, but my therapist says that's normal after what happened. Yeah, I got a therapist too. Men's mental health and all that. Was resistant at first, figured I could handle it on my own like I've handled everything else. But Jackson, lawyer buddy, who's now just regular buddy again, basically dragged me to his guy. Said if he could do therapy after his divorce, so could I. It's actually been helpful. Gives me somewhere to put all this anger that doesn't involve screaming into pillows or punching walls. Maria tried to reconcile 6 weeks ago. Showed up at my apartment unannounced, all dressed up, crying about how she made the biggest mistake of her life. Said she missed her family, that she'd do anything to fix it. For, like, half a second, I remembered the woman I fell in love with. Then I remembered her laughing with Vivian about how I wasn't Grayson's real dad, and that feeling disappeared real quick. I told her we could be civil co-parents, nothing more. She didn't take it well. Started with the tears, then got angry. Said I was punishing her, that I'd won and should be satisfied. Then she saw Ellie's sweater on my couch, nothing happened, she'd just been cold, and lost it. Accused me of having her over when Grayson was home, he was at my mom's. Said I was replacing her too quickly. The irony was not lost on me. Eventually had to threaten to call the cops to get her to leave. She texted the next day apologizing, but I still got a Ring doorbell after that incident. Best $60 I ever spent. Vivian reached out last month too. DM'd me on Instagram saying she felt terrible about her role in everything. Claimed she thought I already knew about Grayson and was just pretending not to for Maria's sake. Bull crap, obviously. Told her I wasn't interested in her apology or excuses. Blocked her immediately after. Last week was Grayson's 7th birthday. Maria and I agreed to do a small party together for his sake, surprisingly civil. She brought her mom, I brought mine. Grayson was just happy to have everyone there. Maria seemed subdued, like the fight's gone out of her. Kept looking at me and Grayson like she was memorizing us. Made me feel weird, not gonna lie. After the party, she asked if we could talk privately. Said she's moving to Cincinnati for a fresh start, got a better job offer there. Asked if I'd bring Grayson to visit sometimes. I said we'd figure something out. She's leaving next month. Part of me feels relieved. Part feels sad for Grayson. But kids are adaptable, like I said. So that's where things stand. Life moves on, you know? Some days, I still wake up angry. Other days, I'm just grateful for what I do have. Grayson is thriving now that the tension is gone. My new place feels more like home every day. Work is good. Dating is weird, but not terrible. The other night, Grayson and I were making pizza from scratch, making a huge mess of my tiny kitchen. And he looked up at me with tomato sauce all over his face and said, "Dad, I'm glad we live here now. Mom was always mad at you at the old house." Kids, man, they see everything. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe someday I'll fully trust someone again. Maybe I'll always have that little voice in the back of my head. But I do know that hearing that Bluetooth conversation was the best worst thing that ever happened to me. Living a lie isn't living at all. Thanks for coming on this journey with me, Reddit. Your comments and support helped more than you know. I'm signing off from this saga now. Time to focus on the future instead of reliving the past. TLDR, 5 months post-divorce, I have primary custody of Grayson, a new apartment, a dog, and I'm slowly rebuilding my life. Maria lost her job, most friends, and is moving away. Biological father signed away rights but pays child support. Life isn't perfect, but it's honest now.